what drew you to this story about Alma Richards?
It's the same thing that draws me really to any good, what I consider a good story, is you have to have a protagonist who has a goal, and it's a worthy goal. It's not, like my goal would be to eat more potato chips. Well, that's a great goal for me, but it has to be a worthy goal that makes a difference in his life or her life or in society.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are all of these obstacles that come, and at the end, the protagonist overcomes them. I mean, that's storytelling. That's just basic storytelling. Yeah. But you start picking apart a lot of the films you maybe have seen in the last 20 years. There's a lot of films that don't really adhere to that as much. And there's a lot of very expensive films. I'll bet you've come out of the theater just like me when you go, who thought that was going to be good? It's not a good story.
Oh, yes.
I think choosing your story is the most important part of this whole kind of
the whole medium.
Assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't choose a strong story that has interest and entertainment value, you're going to be struggling the whole time. If you choose a good story, people will forgive bad lighting. They will forgive some bad acting. They're not looking for, they don't want us to go and see a film with that. But if you've got a strong story, you can grab people by the nose and pull them through. And that's how I've seen a lot of young filmmakers really break through and get into it. It's not because they did the greatest production, but they somehow were able to capture a story that enthralled people and people wanted to see it.
It's true. And it's also the most affordable thing you can do. Like, you hear a lot of people talk like, oh, if only I could cast this, or only if I could have this effect, or if only I could have this situation. Like, I don't know, a 3-story action sequence in a building crumbling. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just, you need a solid story. That needs to be the backbone. And
so Alma Richards.
Alma Richards, which is a solid story. You can tell the story.
It is the story. Yeah. It's a solid story. It's actually, the title is Raising the Bar, the Alma Richards Story. Mm-hmm. Tells about a young man, 1910, from a teeny town in southern Utah called Parowan. And he's big. And he goes to school in high school one day, and there's a new sport there called track. Mm-hmm. And the new track coach sees him and says, "Hey, you're big. Why don't you come out for track?" Alma doesn't even know what he's talking about. That wasn't part of the, this is some new thing. He does go out, and 2 years later finds himself on the grandest stage of the athletic world, the Olympics in Stockholm, Sweden, and wins a gold medal.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And
he's doing things unconventionally. He's a high jumper. Mm-hmm. They try to teach him a better way to do it, and he's used to the way he jumped the fences on the farm.
So that's how he learned to jump in the fences.
Yeah, just jump. Oh, you got to get from here to there. Just jump over it. And he did it. He developed his own weird style, which isn't aerodynamic and all those, using your muscles properly. But that's what he did, and he stuck to it, did the best he can. He not only took home a gold medal, he set a new Olympic high jump record, and went on to jump in his career 6'5". Now, this is before the Fosbury flop, and that was revolutionized in high jump was in the 60s.
Yeah, that's where they lead with their head and they kind of arch their back over.
And then
this they did actually leap. Like you see it on Chariots of Fire if you watch that. Yeah.
And at that time, there were no pits. You had to land on your feet. If you did the Fosbury flop in 1912, you break your neck.
Yeah, you get a concussion. Yeah, you'd be finished.
Yeah. and so they'd have this different, more archaic form of jumping, and Alma could do that better than anybody else. And you go out and put up a bar 6'4", 6'5", and imagine, that you've got to somehow just run at it and jump
over it, like have your bottom clear it. Yeah.
Incredible. He was really an amazing athlete.
No, it's true. And I mean, especially you think, days before the internet, some people may remember that, but this is before jet aircraft. This is before, this is way, like radio was like a new thing during this time, right? Does it predate even radio a bit?
And here's my second kicker of you asked me why I did it. I was raised in Layton, had a whole bunch of my folks had a whole bunch of kids, 10 of us, and our grandma lived with us. My grandma was raised in Parowan and told us all about Alma Richards.
Oh, she probably knew him then.
He was her brother.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. So Alma was my great uncle.
Oh, that is a phenomenal story.
Well, and I don't.
That's fantastic.
And I don't tell that and tell you that. Well, it's a family story, so that's why I did it. I would have done it anyway. It's a good story.
No, it's just a great story. Honestly, I mean, this is something I was talking to TC before the show. I actually, in a very minor way, I'm not saying I put a whole lot of work into it, but I kind of had an outline. I thought someone should make this a movie. Like I was like, I knew the story. My family's really in track. I have a cousin who's like in the BYU Sports Hall of Fame and so on. But I was like, someone's got to make this movie. And I was so happy when I heard TC Christensen was doing it, because then I was like, wow, I don't have to do it, but it's going to exist. And I just felt like I was kind of surprised that like BYU as an institution or something hadn't made this movie before. I mean,
well, Mark, I have to tell you, you haven't seen the film. When you see it, you might think, well, I still better make it because he missed the mark.
No. I mean, I think you've got good aesthetic sense. I have every confidence. A great movie. So I'm curious. I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet. It's coming out in a few weeks. But I mean, how did you do the state? Did you CGI a stadium?
Yeah, with Devin's help, Devin Beacons.
Okay.
We shot all the action on blue screen.
Yeah.
I shot it all exterior because you're pushed in those situations to do it on stage. And this is happening exterior, and I don't buy it. I don't like that look. To me, it's phony. And so I made sure we just had a park kind of a place, but we're outside. The sound sounds right. The light from the sun is right. It doesn't feel like you're on a stage. And then Devin is so good at matching the direction of light that I've shot. He matches that with the background, creates a 3D model. So he has the whole stadium built.
3D, so CGI through full stadium. That's great.
And then, so then I talked to him and we say, this is over here. And this is where the high jump pit is. This is where the broad jump pit is. Oh, okay. And so he figures all that out and it lays it out. And I'm very excited for people to see what Devin did, because I think they're going to see better work than they've seen in a lot of $20 or $30 million films.
Oh, yeah. Well,
for CG.
And honestly, with CGI's advances, it becomes more and more accessible for independent film. Yeah. But I went to graduate school in Stockholm. I was telling C. Christensen about it. And the stadium still exists. They still have the stadium. And it's like a major fixture in the Stockholm city life. They have a lot of concerts, and it's a big event center.
We looked at photos of that stadium. Yeah. And I guess this is snooty to say, but it's really Devin. He's created a stadium that is so much more arty. It has just, it's not just a kind of an oval.
It's an oval brick. It's a very underwhelming stadium. It's very small by today's standards, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it only held 8,000 people.
Yeah, no, it's really a very small stadium.
Well, he's taken it to the next level.
Oh, great.
And you start looking at the background sometime, and it looks like an Ivy League college. Is that kind of the feel.
Okay, yeah. And so like the Yale Stadium or something like that.
I haven't seen that.
Yale Stadium, okay.
But those buildings and ivy and trees are involved, and it's just rich. I'm very thrilled with Devin's work.
No. Yeah, I mean, there are high school football stadiums that are bigger than the Stockholm Olympic Stadium nowadays, probably. But it's when was it the Olympic? It was like 1914 or
1912.
1912. Yeah, it's like right before World War I. And so it's really a significant time. I mean,
let me tell you one thing that helped me do is when I was looking for, is there a practical way to shoot this, meaning an actual stadium? I got the idea about, well, what about rodeos? We have a lot of rodeos around here. Yeah. There probably some still have wooden benches. Maybe we could make a rodeo stadium work. And I started looking around. A big rodeo here in Utah is a Spanish Fork rodeo.
Yeah.
And so I went down and looked at that stadium. It was too modern. It didn't.
It's got aluminum benches and stuff.
And it just, I didn't see how I could possibly make that work. Got in the car to come home and drove about half a mile down the street going toward the freeway. And I passed an old building and it said in carving in the cement, gymnasium. I thought, what is that? Never heard of it, because we used to have a lot of old gymnasiums that got shot, filmed a lot around here. And you know what happens? They become condos and they get torn down and they're gone. Well, I didn't know where I was going to film my interior gym shots. And I went in the building and said, is there a gym in this building? And the nice lady at Spanish Fork offices said, yeah, this is the city offices. And the upstairs is a gym, was built in like 1931. We never use it. You want to use it? Yeah. I went upstairs and looked at it. That gym we use several times in the film, and it's believable. It looks like I found a 1912's gym. And that happenstance that I am going to look for a stadium, and on the way I actually find something worthwhile, which was that gym. That was a good day.
Oh, geez. I mean, that's a real find. I mean, again, that's the thing about doing a period film, is that you have to create that look. And to me also, is you have to exclude everything. I mean, it's like keeping that steel transmission tower out of the frame.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, shoot, this would just be good, but it's there.
We do wire removal and that stuff.
Oh, you do? So CGI makes it a little bit more doable.
Yes. But also, if you're doing that time period, I think in terms of the light, like it's mostly daylight coming through windows.
Yeah.
They don't have powerful, big incandescent type lights. And so I'm trying to find ways to make it just the lighting feel like it would in 1912.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, again, and that's a skill that you have. I mean, be able to mold the lighting to give the period look.
Yeah.
Even your stuff that takes more like 1830s or so on. Yeah. You get that look through the lighting and through knowing what to keep out of the frame, which is, but keeping that shot well composed. Well, that's great.